SeemsGoodMagic, doing my first video for SeemsGoodMagic. It's my first recorded video in quite some time. I used to make videos for draftmagic.com. I don't know if you're familiar with the site, or if you like the site, but it's been a while since I've been doing it. I'm a little out of practice, but I'm excited to get back into the content producing. So let me know how it goes, or how you think it goes, and we'll see if we can make this at least a semi-regular thing. You can also catch me streaming, twitch.tv/SoulBush1. I don't know if you've seen me stream. I used to stream a lot. Now I stream maybe twice a week, but you may know me from there as well. So I'll pause until the draft starts and see how this goes. Alright, here we go. Alright, well, our rare is not exciting. That leaves us with, well, not a whole lot here. There's Herald and Warcaller. I think Warcaller is just a premium uncommon, one of the better uncommons in the set. It's also really nice to first pick it because it really does fit in multiple archetypes, either green X allies or a token-based deck. It's an all-star in either one. I mean, ideally you have at least a couple other allies to re-trigger it, but I'll find myself playing like things like Eyeless Watcher into Warcaller and maybe some Beastmasters, which are the 5/5 at common that pump them +1/+1. Usually you can end up with a couple of those if you want them to, and so it fits nice. And either way you go, you can go like green-white allies, which actually it tends to be a mix of tokens and allies anyway, or even something weird like green-red or green-blue. Ooh, and well, that's a great follow-up pick here. Retreat to Myria. Makes tokens, pumps the tokens, even when you don't have a Warcaller, or you can really go off and keep triggering Warcaller later on. This card has just been an all-star for me. In almost any deck I run it in. It's better when you get the ally triggers, but even when you don't, it's pretty terrific. Alright, so we might want to speculate here on a Calastria Healer. It does go well with both of these. I mean, ideally if you're playing a Warcaller, you're something like black-green base, but you can even play it in green-white and splash the healer if you have enough ally triggers. Or like something weird like multiple copies of Retreat to Myria, or even the Converge uncommon that makes ally tokens. It can be powerful enough. If there was something worth hedging on, I mean, we could take a Channeler, which is safe, but I don't really like to approach this format being safe. It's not like you're going to end up hungry for playables. There's also Touch of the Void, but I feel like Healer in the right deck has the same power level as excuse me, as Touch of the Void does in a red deck, and I'd rather try to push the synergies I have going here. It's going to be pretty hard to escape these first two picks. They hold their own quite well, so I'd rather not hedge too much given something of similar power level. Alright, on to the next pick. Nothing super exciting here. I could take like Tajuru, Stalwart, or Patrol to push the allies. Ondu Rising's a pretty powerful card, just on its own. It's not really a synergy card unless, I mean, maybe you have some life gain synergies, but even then, could take Griffin. I would rather. I think I might rather just take Call of the Scions here to push the token synergy, rather than just take like a. I mean, well, there it's close. I guess Between that and Undo Rising, it might be close. I think Undo Rising's powerful enough that maybe we could have taken that over like, this is sort of a medium synergy card. Another potential path for a deck is like something like green-black sacrifice, where you still have like, you can pump your tokens and maybe you can sacrifice your tokens too. That's another direction this sort of color combination leads itself towards. I guess here we just take another call. Eventually something like Swarm Surge could be good, but we already have Tajuru Warcaller and Retreat, which are sort of much better versions of Swarm Surge because they do other things. Alright, I like the Bone Splinter here. There's also Altar's Reap, but I think Bone Splinters is the more important effect to have access to, especially because there is the Vampiric Rites. Once you have a Vampiric Rites, the copies of Altar's Reap get a little redundant. So we could take the Altar's Reap here. Other option is Lightspring Druid to help with either a white or a black splash here. Infuse could be okay. I don't generally like Infuse too much when my creatures are really small to begin with, when I'm trying to go wide. I think I like that the best over the Altar's Reap. Alright, so choice between Cliffside, Lookout, and Invoker. Lookout's actually decent in this kind of deck because the pump ability is relevant. Though, yeah, I mean, I like Invoker too, especially with a lot of signs, because you at least threaten the trigger a little earlier than 8 lands, and just the threat of activation is pretty strong for a 2-drop that'll scale later on. I think we'll take that just because also we're much more sure we're going to be green base than we are white base. Like Retreat is likely to be splashed no matter what here, but we still could be green white or green black. I guess Step could be okay, but if we're splashing, these colorless lands have a much higher cost, and it's not necessarily the effect we're looking for. I'll just take Gravebirthing. Maybe we'll be desperate for fixing. I found Focus to be really solid in like a white-red ally deck where you're actually trying to just curve. But outside of that, it's just a card it's hard to make room for. It's a solid enough trick. Just when you're going for synergy, it's hard to find room for things like combat tricks. Like, you know, in a pinch, you can run it and not be too upset. But I think I'd rather take Rampart here than Patrol. I mean, I guess this is an ally. That might matter. I'll take the Patrol. Again, we're not even sure we're base white yet. I actually like Pathway Arrows a decent amount as a sideboard card. It's also, if you happen to get like a couple Death Touchers, which usually will happen in like white-black life gain, because then you get you have both the 2/1 flyer, which is death touch no matter what, but you also have the black ally that can gain life gain, gain death, the death touch when you have first strike. This guy, much easier. That's something that's a synergy to keep in mind. This pack is not terrific for us. I mean, we won't be unhappy with the Deathless Behemoth. That thing's just huge and plays really good offense and defense with Vigilance. I guess the other options like Channeler. I'd rather avoid something like Courier Griffin, which it's hard to make room for when you're trying trying to ensure you have enough synergies. We don't even know for white. The rare I have not been impressed with. I guess maybe in a grindy white-black life gain deck it might be decent. I did get comboed off the other day by that rare plus the land that gains 2 life for each creature. That was a beating, but someone will be happy with Omnath. I suppose we could try to play Omnath. We're not super deep into white or black, but that doesn't seem worthwhile when we've got something like Stasis Snare that we can pick here. Stasis Snare is double white, so it does push us further towards white. It's a pretty premium removal spell, though. And something like Bone Splinters, even Healer, can be splashable. So I think we'll take that here. I guess the other option is Evolving Wilds, but man, even if Stasis Snare doesn't make our deck, like we get awesome green and black cards, it's probably worth the risk here to just take this Stasis Snare. So Royal's Retribution, it's a powerful card. Sometimes it's hard to set up just because your opponent might be wary of it if you leave up all that mana. I think it's at least a little bit interesting when there's a card like Vampiric Rites, although, yeah, I mean, after taking Stasis Snare, maybe we're leaning more white than the black sacrifice route. We would need, it's not impossible to run both Rites and Stasis Snare in the same deck, but we would need quite a bit of fixing. It could even come back if nobody's in sacrifice. Could also do something like Lookout or Stalwart here. But I think we might be able to pick up a Lookout a little later. It's still something we wouldn't be too unhappy about playing. We'll just take the powerful card here. Alright. So some nice options. I think we'll like I love Hedron Archive, but I'm not sure we're the right deck for it. We'll narrow it down to either Entanglers or Watcher. I mean, Entangler, especially with something like Retreat, can be pretty powerful here to push the ally plan. We do seem a little closer to the just token plan, and Watcher is a card we're going to want as many copies as we can find of. If we're lighter on the ally theme. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take Watcher here. The payoff's maybe a little bit higher on the Entangler, but we're positive we're gonna be happy to play this card. So Spawning Bed, which definitely fits our deck, and doesn't take a slot in our deck, though it changes our ability to splash easily. And then there's Gnarlid, which is fine, but not much better than fine, or even Castigator, which is fine. I think Castigator is a really important card for like white-red aggro allies, but outside of that, it's just it trades a little easily. I mean, it's fine. I'll just take Spawning Bed. So, Lifespring Druid, Glider is fine enough. Great Horn. We're pretty hefty on the 3s as it is. Could take Gift, though it's almost certain not to make our main deck. But could be a sideboard option. Yeah. Might just take the Druid to open up the possibility of splashes. I think, I guess we could even take Nightwatch. I'm not really keen on that. I think the black, like the healer plan, doesn't seem like it's getting there. And we have enough reason to be white as our second color. Take Griffin. Again, it's a totally cuttable card, but it might be a good sideboard option. Just by the end of it, if everything goes well, Griffin won't make our deck. It's just we're gonna be as synergistic as possible, but definitely could be a good sideboard card against flyers or even an aggressive deck. The life gain's relevant. I'm almost this card almost never makes my deck. Might just prefer tandem tactics. I think I like getting smite here. Again, I don't think we're going the black route. I guess Seek the Wilds could be okay since we are a little short on 2s right now, especially without the healer. But getting our first smite, especially that late, is fine with me. Ooh, Inspire Charge actually might make this deck. And getting the lookout back is very good for us. Now, Bone Splinters still could make this deck. Healer, likely not. I'll put the Druids here. I don't want to forget about them. Don't think we're in the market for a processor right now. Grave Breathing, not likely to make our deck. But Bone Splinter still has a decent shot here. But maybe without the fixing, we're not going to go there. I guess we have 2 Druids and Fertile Thicket that can help. Well, it's a nice rare, but we're going to be perfectly happy with Angel of Renewal here. There's also another Watcher, though I think we're on pace. Token-wise, we'll just take... Not only does it synergize with tokens, you get a buttload of life for free, it's also a pretty big flyer. And big flyers are actually quite good in this set. Now, it might be worth picking up the Vampiric Rites, which, again, I don't think we're going to be able to play it unless we find a very solid amount of fixing, just because it kind of wants you to even have multiple black sources in play. There is just nothing else worth taking here. And even if it doesn't make our main deck, it might be like something we want to board into in a pretty grindy matchup, even on the splash. So I'd rather have access to this card than take either like Bridge or maybe like a sideboard Scour. Huh. Alright, well, these have not been ideal. Don't really need a second smite. This might be a fine time to just take a Channeler, as unexcited as I am about it. Could take Blister Pod too, I suppose. Don't think... I mean, this card's much better when you're doing lots of sacrificing. It goes well with Bone Splinters and Rites, but we're not even convinced those are making our deck. Well, this has not been great. We really just have the option of 8 drafting or taking maybe we take a Bailoff. I can't imagine Bailoffs ever making the deck. I would rather splash these black cards than play the Bailoff, I think. There's some cards here that we want to cut. We might, if the packs keep up like this, we might have trouble filling out our deck completely. I'll take Scour here. May want access to it. Alright, this is a little better. We'll slam the Brood Monitor here. Fissure is actually a card I really like too. But I think we'll go for Synergy over power. I mean, Brood Monitor is actually pretty high on the power level chart as well. There's another Bone Splinters, but we haven't quite picked up all the fixing we'd like for that yet. And I think we still wouldn't mind some more token support here. So second lookout here, it's actually not embarrassing in our deck. Seems better than taking a Splashed Fen. Could take Giant Mantis for the sideboard. Manus is a card I have a hard time main decking. Just again, it's solid enough against flyers, but if they don't have flyers, it's almost a waste slot. The bodies, like vanilla, mediocre bodies, are just not great in this set. Yeah, I'd rather Invoker over Envoy. I want my early drops to scale in the late game. This card's great in the white. Again, another card that's great in the white-red ally deck, but vanilla bodies are otherwise a little unexciting. So we could take Blister Pond. I'm actually going to take Rising Miasma. I guess we could also take another Inspired Charge. We really don't need it, though. Again, we've Retreat, we've Warcaller, and 2 Lookouts that, I mean, they don't all do it as powerfully as Charge does, or, you know, in this, well, Warcaller does, but, you know, they either do it repeatedly or have other effect on the game, like Retreat to Emeria. So, this time we'll take it. We already have a Reclaiming. Yeah, we already have one of these on the board. I don't think we need another one. Yeah, never playing any of these cards. Okay, sideboard. I guess I can imagine a grindy enough matchup where they have some pretty important bombs to answer, where I, you know, really late game, where I gotta bring in Scour, or even 2 Scours. Well, see, might make the deck. Alright, so we've a couple cuts to make. I'm actually thinking we're just gonna end up cutting our black cards, both of them. Though that means maybe the Druids want to go too. We have replacement for. Actually, this might just be a deck. We can even throw something else in that's on color. This is a couple cards short of a deck. We are running Courier Griffin, which I did say means things didn't go fully as planned, but they didn't go fully as planned. Even Patrol in this deck is a little mediocre, but things didn't go fully as planned. The last pack, we didn't completely flesh out our deck. Our deck's still fine. We would have really liked another Watcher. We took Angel over the second Watcher. It's unfortunate we didn't see another one, but I stand by taking Angel there. Alright, so the options are either Splash. I don't think Healer is worthy of a Splash. Really, the only card it's great with is the Retreat to Emeria, but I don't think it's worthy of a Splash there. We're a little too light on allies. Not like we have none. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that's definitely not enough for a healer. So yeah, the options are Bone Splinter and or Vampiric Rites. We could main deck a Scour or a Rune Processor. Guess we have one way of exiling with Stasis Snare. Could main deck a Gift. I don't really love that. It's kind of nice on a Behemoth, I guess. I mean, it does cycle. Tandem Tactics, not really what we want. I guess we could play the second Inspired Charge. Could even like with 2 Inspired Charge, maybe Kitesail Scout's good enough. It's not something I've done before in this format, but maybe with enough effects like that, like we're playing Warcaller, 2 Inspired Charge, if we do go that route, plus Retreat for pumping, plus 2 Lookouts for pumping. It's not the worst, I guess. Though, I mean, maybe we prefer to put like Angelic Gift in instead of Scout. I mean, I guess we could also just play Lifespring Druid. That's even without the splash. Or yeah, I mean, we also have like this plan, and cut some filler from our deck. Probably end up running 18 lands, which I think is fine with the spawning bed. So like putting these 4 cut 2 is an option. You know what? Let's try this out. Though I'm still not convinced Kite Sail over Angelic Gift. No, we want to lean a little more white here. Plus we also have that Fertile Thicket. Alright. Let's see how this goes.